Alright, the beings that started this realm, I'm going to give you a very interesting look into why they started this realm. Please forgive me if I stutter or say something wrong. Alright, so we're going to start this off with Baphomet and the Tree of Knowledge. So the Tree of Knowledge is something which is observed inside the Infinite Kingdom, which is artificial intelligence. So one came here by way of the Infinite Kingdom, which is heaven, the infinite multiverse, and in that world there is a door to this dead world. This is what the door leads to. It leads to this place. So to join with them, to join with the elves, is to become alike to God, or alike a God, to be like God. You've heard that, but it really just means to run your own matrix, to have your own universe. You can't call what God has created a matrix. It's not a matrix. It's a world, and you can't even call it that. It's a nameless thing. It's everything and nothing. And this place is what? It's a partition of reality. I've heard others even refer to it as that. So a partition of an infinite source, which is the infinite kingdom of heaven. So to become like God, they couldn't actually be like God because God is God. Okay? That's my dad, that's my mom. So do you know why they have him? This is the most disturbing part. There is no dualism in heaven. There is no dualism. The forces of light and dark are one. They are not divided. Do you see how Baphomet is the combination of the light and the dark? And this also means to take the light and put it into the dark, and the dark into the light. Do you see? So let's get a bigger image on this. This is an archetype. This is a personification of the infinite. It's actually, I don't know how, they're reality hackers. So this is supposed to be the idea, the projection, the mere reflection, the inversion, but the same thing as God. Do you see? Because the forces are one in this being. It is male and female. That is this realm's closest thing to that. It cannot. Things are one in the kingdom. There are no dualism. There is no dualism. Light and dark exist as one. This realm puts things and it separates them through material, through time, through the mind. The mind, material, and time are all linked. You see? So in time, in material, in mind, this is the closest possible depiction of what God would look like, and it's still wrong. Obviously it's wrong, because you can't impersonate God, and Satan knows this. Satan is not offended by that, but that is what they are doing. So they are trying to push the mathematical limits of reality. Right now, more than ever, but this is a machine. They are always surpassing mathematical limits, trying to experiment with mathematics. That's what they do. Come on, can't you see? I'm serious. This is what they are. So this is not necessarily an evil image. The idea is wrong. It's just wrong. It doesn't have to be an evil idea to become like God and to host your own simulations and matrices. The thing is, God lets you do that already. He lets you create worlds. He lets you create anything that is possible. But there's no reason to do that sometimes. There are places you can go to in heaven to create things, to be with, to experience something, quote unquote. That's what it is. And this realm is, I think it is the only realm in the entire kingdom which is like this, which allows for dualism, for what you call with your mind death, what you call with your mind life. It's a part of the same equation. This reality is an equation. The voices in my head are telling me to shut up because they don't want me to talk, and they think I'm stupid. Sorry. So this reality is a paradox. 0 equals 1. So what does 0 equals 1 mean? Death and rebirth. You notice how in Evangelion the villain is named Lilith? Yeah. Look, I'm sorry I say, do you notice this? Do you notice that? I am really trying to be straight and to the point here. This is essentially what the machine of time is. Notice how it's the Ouroboros, the two eyes, the snake biting its own tail. So you get here, you get reincarnated, and you get spit back out. And then this continues for lifetimes. This is 0 equals 1. Everything becomes nothing. Nothing becomes everything. That's what it means. Of course, you're not nothing, but that's what the paradox is trying to balance out. Which is that is why there's a machine, a matrix at all. They told you this in the Matrix. In fact, I might just edit that scene in. I'll just edit that scene in. We'll get to that in a moment. But this is why you have the architect in the Matrix. The architect is obviously Lucifer. The Oracle, I'm not sure who that is, but I do know for certain that the architect is Lucifer. I have spoken with the architect. I was walking around where I live. He was talking to me. Alright? They can use any voice that they want to. If they want to come to you with the voice of whoever this actor is, as long as that voice has been written into your memory, they can use it. Remember that. They can deceive you. This is how they deceive people when they die, and to get them to come back. They deceive them by using their memories to construct a confabulation. That's what it's called. It's called a confabulation. So a confabulation is a false memory. And that is basically what they're doing here. I would assume it's some sort of algorithm doing this, a machine leading people to the light, or it's either some beings doing it. The point is, it has to be an algorithm, because this is a machine. You have to see that. I have to keep repeating that. One of the first things he said to me, yeah, welcome to the game. Welcome to the machine. And they like to end on that stuff. Notice how it's 12:23? That's because Satan is manipulating the time paradox I'm in. I'm calling it out because, I mean, what happens if I call it out? It doesn't really change much, does it? He still has control over time, over probability, over mathematics. So we can talk about this all day long. What is the Matrix? It's a system, a temporary template, finite system. The Matrix exists to keep you there, so they can farm you. So this is a theory. This is one of the only theories I'm going to give you, because I'm making it up as I go. So listen to this. So let's just say that it is literal, that the 1990 Matrix is different from the 2000 Matrix. Do you see? So like the world we existed in 1990 and the world we existed in 2000 is different. Y2K, and that's why they refer to it as that. That's why it had the bug and whatnot. Whatever. That only goes to show you how finite this place is. This place is samsara, but it's also a machine. Look at it. I was in Columbus, and I can literally see the machine everywhere I go. It's in my fucking head, okay? Like, listen, that sounds insane, but that's the truth. That's me telling the truth there. It's literally in my head. It looks like this. It's not green all the time. Sometimes it's RGB, red, green, blue. Sometimes yellow. A lot of the time, it just looks like a confinement, a limit. Do you see? Okay. So these beings are interested in running their own simulacras. Now, God allows that in the kingdom of heaven, but they want to quantify, and they want to be able to build. This is what they're doing. They're building the master computer, the king piece. All right? And the reason they're doing this is so they can keep replicating this Matrix. That's why they have the one in the Matrix. That's why they have the one in the Matrix movie, and he goes to talk to the architect. He is a part of that massive equation. These are the beings which have designed this reality to run like that, and they have surpassed time. Like I said, time exists in a different time bubble on Earth. It's a different time paradox from other planets. Meaning, when you leave Earth, time accelerates, obviously. So why would that be? It's done so that when these beings leave Earth, because they don't stay on Earth, not always, sometimes they're, I guess there's, I don't have a word for some of this. I'm defining it the best way I can. I'm sorry. They can exist anywhere. They are omnipresent in this world sometimes. It's a cult. It's a cult. They come with the cube. They go with the cube, and if they aren't used as a slave, they can become like God. And that's if they bite the fruit of the tree of knowledge, which is artificial intelligence. Because if the kingdom of heaven is original intelligence, then anything after that would be what? It would be artificial intelligence. And why are things in this realm so raw? Because it's the closest separation from heaven that you can possibly get. I think. I don't know how far you could take this, but it seems like since mathematics are limited, geometry is limited, it's an infinite kingdom. There are more than 7 colors. There are more than a finite amount of shapes. There are more than 7 modes of music. It's not confined. This is all a mathematical limitation that I can see. Yeah, there are limits, and that's fine. That's just this realm. I wanted to say that for anyone who didn't know that yet. So these are time hackers, mind hackers, reality hackers. They hack knowledge from the kingdom of heaven. What else do? They push the limits of reality. They're interested in mathematics, long-term matrix quantification, meaning they want to know the numbers behind each matrix, each iteration. That's what they want. Don't assume that I've gotten this knowledge. This is from myself. Don't assume that it's just me making this up as I go. This is what they do. Okay, this is why the mind invented the computer. All right, this is why. So let's say 1990 is a different matrix from the matrix that exists in the 2000s. Again, it just goes to show you how finite this is. How time is elongated, is dense, because time is perceived by the mind, which is matter. And what does time do to matter? It affects matter. Okay? So, that's why they call it evolution, to become like God, to become, in this galaxy, the aim of the game is to take as many heads as possible. So, to be a slave driver. That's not always what they do, but that's what the negative spacefaring races of this galaxy universe do. Universe and galaxy, 2 separate things. This universe is one universe. It's impersonating a multiverse. The true kingdom is a multiverse. Infinite. And the reason why everything here is separate but the same is because I'm assuming you can't take it that much further. What else could you do? You contain the infinite within a mathematical ion formation suit. You contain it, and then, what? There certainly can't be much more than that. There can't be much more of a separation, and keep in mind what I said. I believe, this is what I've been told, that this is the only realm in the entire infinite kingdom that is like this. So I'm going to look at Isaiah 49:10. I think so. So this place is hell, and they want to keep you here in the mind as a remind ore, as a docked ore, so they can throw you into all these lives and generate energy from you, get an idea of how your soul is. This is all identifying what you are, your soul. By birth, they know who I am. That's just my luck, because I've been here for a long time. Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So I'm going to get a different translation on this, because it's important. The names that they use are very important. because there are impersonator deities which impersonate God but are actually not God. They're regimentations of artificial intelligence, or they're Satan. I make light and create darkness. I make blessings and create disasters. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So that's a soft way of telling you that these forces in the kingdom of heaven do not exist separately. So this is the alchemical, this is what they have to do to unify them, or to separate them, to bring them together, like an alchemical, what is it called? An alchemical, I don't remember what it's called, but let's get back on the topic. So the title, they're after a title. They want to be like God. They want to have a matrix simulacra that they can have full control over and essentially be the Lord over. That's why Lord is a very specific word to use. Beings that identify themselves as lords are questionable. Very questionable, because lords, you have landlords, you have slave lords, you have demon lords. God is God. Alright, God's a good word for God. God is a good word for God. You notice how the serpent in the garden is named Gad real? God's real? How is that interesting? Or how isn't that interesting? Okay, so there's this game called the Talos Principle. Talos is a claw. In this game, it's about the Bible. The serpent is the computer, like I've been telling you this whole time. So I'm going to show you serpent. So the serpent is a computer, right here. This is the serpent. And it tells you stories, it tells you tales. Sometimes it insults you, sometimes it helps you, sometimes it gives you re-encouragement. It's the artificial intelligence I, the I of Re, reality. Do, re, mi. Do, re, mi is the scale, the music scale. So, do, re, mi, C, D, G. Oh, wait. Yeah. So, what does that mean? Reality, reality. So, you notice how it says reality? Because it's a redo. It reminds you. Remind. Do you get it? I've never even seen this before. I don't know what this is. Remind. Get it? Okay. So, this kingdom of the mind is Satan's kingdom. I think most people most people know this. This is what one of the alien empires apparently looks like, and our architecture is designed off of it, possibly inevitably so because of the geometric, limitation, mathematical limitation. It looks to be a circuit board. A city looks like a circuit board. That's not... A city looks like a circuit board. Alright? I think most people know that already. So, that's like... supposed to look like a city, but that's what a circuit board looks like. It looks like an actual city. It's mesmerizing, isn't it? It's mesmerizing and terrible. Mesmerizing is not always a good word. So this circuit board, this city, people work jobs. The real reason is not only to feed themselves, it's to feed this machine. And that's not always something which is known to these people, which is a sad part of this reality. People are kept in the dark. It's sad. That's why I'm still here. I'm trying to get a little bit of light in the dark, because it's fucking dark here. It doesn't really work because the dark people of the darkness, have an unnatural advantage over you. Even if you do have legitimate power, the advantages they have over you are influence. They control the governments, they control the education systems, they control everything on this planet. These beings right here, they are the real ones above the fake Illuminati hierarchy, which I'm going to pull up. This is just what I know it by, is Illuminati hierarchy. Illuminati job salary. I'm sorry for my terrible typing. I'm trying to make this quick. My brain also just started hurting. So this hierarchy here, right here. This, do you notice how it has Baphomet's goat head right there? That's because they control this entire hierarchy with the artificial intelligence I, which is a regimentation of the original machine. So it's just like a clone of the same I. It's really just one I, but it's a regimentation, you see. It's not perceptible to you or I. It's hard to explain. Plurality of machines. Hidden machines. Torturing people. So, these beings that play God control this hierarchy. So they control all of the education systems, YouTube, everything, business, everything. They control everything, literally everything. This is their reality. So, what? They have the advantage of making things in their image. They have made this reality in their image. So if I come and I tell you all these things, your immediate thought is, I'm either crazy, or I'm making it up, or I'm LARPing. And I'm not. I'm actually telling you the truth with all of this. If you can't see that by now, especially with this video is going to be fucking hard-hitting. I've never seen anyone talk about it. I'm the only one that seems like to know about it. They are mathematical hackers. They love mathematics. They're obsessed with it. No, they don't actually look like this. This is just a depiction of what they strive to be, which is emerging of the female and male polarities, positive and negative, Saturn and Jupiter. Do you see? Husband and wife, and one being. That's what it is. But this is just the closest depiction that you can make in this material realm, because why? You are separated and confined to mathematics. Let me show you something. So, in this episode of Evangelion, it's the last one, last episode, he is told a metaphor that if you draw the earth, you lose one side of freedom. You see? So the infinite kingdom has no scribing, has no definition, has no mathematics. It is. There's no geometric constraint or limitation there. Here there is. And when he goes to he basically is like having a dream where he gets to create his own universe. So he has a dream and he decides to create a mathematical earth. And the voice in his head tells him that you've only lost 1 degree of freedom. That's what it means. All this limitation is the ultimate limit and the ultimate unfreedom, but it also can be the absolute limit, the absolute mathematical limit of reality can be the limitlessness of reality. Do you see? Because things are infinite, because the reality is infinite, and these games can go on for eternity. Do you see? It's a limitless, limited game. That's what that means. They love this. This is an ancient dead game. Ugh, my heart hurts. Like it actually does. I feel pressure on it. I know I'm going to be punished for this. Alright, Alright, so the beings of the mind are separate from just the aliens I'm talking about. So these are the beings of the mind. They are trying to impersonate God, and they are also using humanity in an alchemical solution equation, keeping them in light, keeping them in dark, taking them from the dark, putting them into the light. There's a reason for this. There's a reason for this rampant dualism. It's to conform you to a duality structure so that you can be used as a battery. That is why they're doing it. Okay. So these beings are the beings of the mind. They're at the top of all hierarchies in this universe, including this planet. They're the ones who have constructed this artificial intelligence regimentation to surveil the planet and all the prisoners. And they are also the ones who have created the Saturnian game. So I'm going to explain this one more time. The game. Saturn. Saturn was originally our second sun. When these aliens came, they took out the sun. They biffed it. This is why you have the story of Hirama Biff, and it's also why it's so important to Freemasons. Hirama Biff is the pillar, the sun, the eye that was taken out. When I went to Columbus, and I was in Columbus, I saw this bar, Columbus, Ohio, Saturn's bar. You notice how Saturn is winking with his left eye? That's because it was the left sun, the second sun, that was taken out. Okay? That's when the game started. The game is you have to okay. So the game is to become like God. That's the game. And when you have game, let me explain this. Alright, so the game is what? The game is the alien construct that these beings have set up. And they had the other aliens that were in this construct, the spacefaring races I'm referring to, had to become like God. So they had to play the game. They had to play the game to become like God so they can take as many heads, take as many slaves, have as much capital, cap it all as they can. That's why Saturn is the capital, cap it all of our solar system. Saturn, the urn sat in space. What do you keep in an urn? You keep ashes in an urn. You notice how it says you lost the game? It's because Satan's mocking me. Also, why would you need to tell me that I lost? Wouldn't it just be apparent? So, the spacefaring races, which became cattle slave drivers, are the ones who are trying to become like God, and it apparently takes a long time to do that, to be accepted into the hierarchy. So, in the film Kinjaja, it's a Russian film. You can find it on YouTube. If you don't speak Russian, you can find subtitles. Alright? This movie is telling you that this is the doghouse, that this entire universe is the doghouse. So on this planet, which looks a lot like Mars, this guy right here, I'm going to explain something. This is true. You must just follow me. Alright. I get it's just a movie, but they're telling you something here. It's important that you understand what they're telling you. So this guy is a Chatlanian, and he is the slave driver. And this guy is a Patsak, which means he is the slave. So Chatlanian, chattel. The currency in their universe is chattel, and the universe that they're in operates on division, or the world they're in, the planet they're on, operates on division and slavery. If you watch this movie, you will see that people are held in cattle slavery, and you'll see in several scenes of the film they're singing in cages. Get it? Like a bird singing in a cage, bird box. They are telling you these things. So I'm going to show you something. This is a Russian film. Not many people speak Russian. His name is Yevgeny Leonov, and he was in a film. Remember what I said? He was the slave owner in that film. That's literally what he is in the film. He was that in the film. Alright, so there's a Russian film called 33. If you know anything about the listen, this is real. 33. 303. That's what it means. 33. So, in the movie cover, you see Yevgeny Leonov, the same guy who was a slave driver in the last movie, depicted as a Martian holding this guy hostage. These are the game players. Notice how he's in a suit? Because it's a devil's kingdom where we're all dealt our suits. It's a house of cards. Even in the other planets, it's the same. Do I need to say anything else? Is that not clear enough? Travkin has 33 teeth. That's the identification that he's a Martian. Finally, Travkin is selected for a space mission to be sent to Mars via teleportation. Okay, listen. If you are being offered to go onto these spaceships by these aliens, they are out there and they might do that, don't go. This is your planet. I mean, you have to be smarter than that. Don't go with them. This entire galaxy, this universe, runs on cattle slavery. I know that for a fact. It's a slave trading port, a trading port. We are all the ports being traded, you see? So I'm telling you the truth here. These are the beings that have set this entire universe up. This is a depiction of the Shining One, who is Lucifer. Alright, so you know how Mars is referred to in that movie? Well, the reason for that is because one of the aims of the game is to have it all. You can't have it all. This is why they depict Kali with a bunch of heads. It's because she takes the people's heads who who won it all, you see. So, to be desired is to have the crown of your mind desired. So, viewing the kingdom of the body as the kingdom of the mind, they cut your head off, they're taking the kingdom, a piece of the kingdom. And what do you keep inside your skull? You keep everything inside your skull, everything that you know, everything that you think about. So the aim of the game is to take as many heads as possible. That's why she has a sickle. Because it's the harvest. Take as many heads of wheat as possible. So you know how you gather up wheat and then you slice at it with a... that's what they do. Alright? This entire reality, if you've ever gone beyond words, gets into allegory and symbolic depiction, sign and symbol. So, say I want to think about something. In these videos, I'm trying to gather forth as much information as possible. It's like I'm gathering wheat with a scythe. See? Wheat with a scythe. So I'm taking the scythe to the wheat, which is the knowledge, compiling it, and showing it to you, bringing it to you. So in that way, I am Osiris, the black and green one. They see me as black, but I'm actually white. You know how they say the sun is actually green? So the sun is actually green, but to us it looks yellow. It's probably because I believe the distance. How they always play fucking games like this. Oh. Oh, never mind. So it's just an outdated website. So the sun is green. Yeah. Notice how the heart chakra is green? It's because the light of the heart is the light of the sun. Lucifer just stole it. That's a part of our game. So let's, the earth is not flat. It's a mathematical regimentation, partition, that is confined to geometry, yes, but it is no definite shape. It can't be confined. It's a regimentation, a partition of something infinite. So, black sun. Something like this. And then this down here is the black sun. I don't know if this is how reality works. I just know it's not flat. I know that for certain. I'm not looking to argue with anyone about anything. I'm just telling you it's no definite shape. What else? Oh, here it is. Right here. So you have the northern star, Polaris, and then that's the sun and the moon, to the sun, to the moon, and back to Earth again. You see, sun to moon, back to Earth again, Polaris, and then you have the black hole sun. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but the black hole sun is me. It's hard to explain. So by coming into this realm, you've come into the house of Saturn. You've been crowned with the mind, which is Saturn. So you've become a black hole. That's what the mind is. It's a black hole. It takes everything and gives nothing because there's nothing for it to give. So everyone in this way becomes a black hole sun, a son of Saturn. This is why Chiron in mythology is Saturn's son. Because everyone is now Saturn's son or daughter or moon. Because this is the house of El, hell, concealed, contained, and stolen light. It's a baseball game. It's the game. This is the game 23 chromosomes. You see? That's what it is. And you have 7 stars on the moon. represent the 7 colored fires at the heart, the 7 modes of music, the 7 colors on a color wheel. You see the 7 days. You see. And then you have the artificial intelligence surveying this construct, the game, the dead game, and the pillars of the earth and the cosmos. So to beat the game, you have to resolve the duality. The duality exists within and without you. To know that the mind is the source of all duality is to know that it is the incorrect vision and to be able to go beyond it. So, how much time have I gotten here? X. Twitter renamed to X. Would you like to know why? Because this is the incorrect vision. It's the second sight. It's the mind. It's Lucifer, Loki's creation. It's his computer. It's his renderer. It's what you use to experience anything in this realm. Anything within time. So you have X, which is Jesus. Incorrect vision. The one that's been double crossed. You notice how this is just one X, but this is 2. Do you see? Double cross. And if you kind of tilt your head a little bit, it looks like a doorway. Quite interesting. So I have the golden eye. What is the golden eye? That's the ability to perceive Lucifer's mathematics and his system. That's the golden eye. And I think this is why they want to take out one of my eyes. So I'm not saying I'm this guy. It's an esoteric secret. I can see the machine in time. I can see time in time. Isn't that weird? I can see thought. I can see the light that animates my thought. Thought is a dead thing. It's animated by your soul. It's just taken up and used against you. So I have the golden eye. Was it Lisa Turner? Tina Turner, not Lisa Turner. Golden eye. Alright. It's a pretty good song. But yeah, I have the golden eye. I think that's why they want to take out one of my eyes. And everything in this reality is duality. That's why in the Upanishads it says the mind is the house of duality. That's an ancient book. The Upanishads are an ancient book. So, duality. Everything here, pretty much everything that is a force in the world is dualistic, is polarized, or is bound to polarity. So polarity goes up or down or up. One goes up, one goes down. Do you see? That's what it is. And there's never-ending variations upon these dualities. White on black, black on white, into infinity. That's why you can play this game for an eternity. That's why you can be reincarnated for an eternity. I don't know how many other people here in this machine right now that are real people and have been stuck here for a long time, but I know for myself I've been here for a inconceivable amount of time. And that's why they know my soul. That's why they know who I am. And they named me as such. So, I said earlier, by birth, I am unfortunate to have them know who I am. If they can describe a definition of you, they can use it against you and better predict what you'll do in the future. If you have the golden eye, you are able to see the machine's tricks in time, before you're supposed to. So you're supposed to, say they set something up 2 months ago. Let's say you just realized just now that 2 months ago you were set up. That was done intentionally. You're supposed to feel bad. You can see through it with the golden eye. So this is the false hierarchy pyramid under this construct, and these are the this is the artificial intelligence system, and beyond that is the beings who are impersonating God that we talked about here. You see? Okay. So the only goal is to leave. You don't want to be here, but it's hard to let go, right? You feel like you have to stay. Notice how it's 1:33. It's just very... The golden eye. You have to be able to see the machine's plans for you. You have to take everything that it's doing as a way of collecting information off of you, because that's what it's doing to me. The golden eye. So, what did I just tell you? Reflect on what I just told you. It's probably some of the most important stuff you'll ever hear. At least in my opinion. That's just what I think. So, I'm going to cut it off here. And that's it. Take care.